Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Korean Tapas and Happy New Year. This is the first episode of Happy New Year, right? Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New
Year.
Year.
Yes, and today again we have our amazing friends Ricard and Jisang. How's it going, guys? Happy New Year. Did you have any special event for new events for the new year? Ricard, you first.
Not anything special apart from the New Year's Eve as we talked about last episode. No, nothing special. What about you, Jisang?
Last week I climbed up the tallest mountain in South Korea.
Wow,
Oh,
Yeah,
where?
to like
Jeju.
in Jeju Island. Yeah, there's a
Okay.
mountain like more or less 2,000 meters above the sea level, which is obviously the tallest mountain in Korea. And I went up there to, how to say, for some sort of New Year's resolution thing.
that's very cool. So, Jisang, so where do you start the climb? Do you start from the very bottom of the mountain, or do you get some sort of transport midway? How's it work?
Honestly, the course starts from the middle of the mountain, so which is already more than 1,000 meters above the sea level. But still, the course is very tough, and the course was totally covered by snow and ice.
Wow,
So
that's
it
dangerous.
took about 8 to 9 hours for me to go up and down to the peak.
Oh, I mean, but
Wow.
do you have some sort of previous training, or is it dangerous for an amateur to do that?
I'm not really an expert in terms of the climbing thing, but as far as I know, the course, the level of the course, the difficulty of the course isn't very high. It only like requires very long time. So it
Strong
was
legs.
tiring, but it was not that difficult.
That's one of the Koreans like what can I say bucket list
Exactly, yeah.
in the
Really, everybody
lifetime.
wants to climb that mountain. Cool.
So
Yes,
in the very first week of the new year, I've done already my first New Year's resolution.
a very good start. Very good start. And actually, I wanted to say about my special episode about the New Year, and it was horrible. From the New Year,
Horrible.
I changed. Yes, from the New Year, I changed my new team for the first time in Spanish, and they had a welcoming party for me. And guess what? I was so drunk. I mean, I was so drunk. I couldn't remember anything actually. Anything.
Wow.
Anything. Literally anything. And I didn't stay at home. I couldn't stay at home because they didn't know my home.
Right.
And I was literally dragged to a hotel for they were the first what can I say first teammates that I'd never known before.
So
So
first contact, and then you get super drunk, and you end up in a hotel, not knowing what happened. What the heck?
What a nice first impression.
Yes.
yes, and it was Monday, and imagine when I woke up when I
On
woke up
Tuesday.
and my Tuesday actually I was woke up by a phone call.
Oh my God.
One of the teammates
Oh
called
my
me.
God.
Am I
Oh my
alive or
God.
not?
Oh my God.
So it's actually I am embarrassing, and I called. I'm sorry to my team. Anyway, actually, this event it was horrible, and this event is related to today's our topic: drinking culture. Drinking is one of the common theme for the world, but it's quite different. So I thought it would be interesting, especially for Korea. Is if you are interested in Korean. So
We are,
Ricard,
yes.
could you start first about the drinking culture in Spain?
Drinking culture. Um, as usual, it's hard to speak in general terms. I mean, I guess it goes from people to people and person to person. Sure, some people drink, some people don't. I don't have numbers, but I'm very confident that Spain is one of the top countries where we have more bars per person. I mean, if you go to any
Mm-hmm.
city in Spain, there's so many bars everywhere, every corner,
Mm-hmm.
right? I mean, different types of bars, but it's everywhere. Beer is super cheap. I mean, when people from England or Germany come here, they are amazed on how cheap the beer is. Of course, it's not as good as Belgian beer or German beer, but regular beer made here in Spain is super cheap. And then yeah, so again, it depends on who you speak with. I guess the main consumption would be beer, surely, but also like maybe harder alcohol, depending on the age or said. I don't know, guys. I mean, when I went to South Korea, the first difference I saw in beer was you always serve like half a liter.
Yeah, that's like a default thing.
The false thing. So here, when you go to a bar and you ask for a beer, the default would be 33 centiliters, right?
Uh,
Either a cup or a bottle. But when I went to Korea and asked for a beer, they gave me directly the half a liter. I was like, okay, half a liter, not bad.
500 milliliter, right?
Exactly,
We used to
exactly.
say like, and actually, like, one of the famous Spanish beer for Korean is Estrella, I think.
There are two, I think. There's the Estrella from Galicia, right, and the Estrella from Catalonia, from Barcelona.
I think Minki meant Estrella Damm.
Dam, okay, then from
Yes,
Barcelona.
yes,
Actually, I think when Minky, when you were living here in Barcelona, you were actually a few blocks away from the brewery, right?
yes, yes. And I preferred Boldam.
Oh, that's that. Yeah, that's the like more strongest flavor,
Yes.
higher degree on alcohol. That's yeah, it's a good one. But
Yeah, double
that's
malt, right?
yes, but that one is dangerous, right? That one you have to.
Dangerous? What
It's
does
something.
what do you mean dangerous?
I mean, okay, so as you know, guys, I mean, when you drink beer, it's like it depends on the setting. I mean, if it's summer, you want to refresh yourself. If it's winter, if you are eating something now, if you're not eating anything and you start drinking ball dams, I mean, maybe two ball dams, three ball dams, you're knocked out. And it's like it's strong. It's like 7 degrees, right? So I guess you have to do some snacking while you eat double malt.
Jisang, do you have any special type of drink in Spain? Remember?
Though I stayed in Spain only for like 4 to 5 months, it affected me quite a
Only.
lot. I mean, it affected me quite a lot in terms of my drinking habit because my experience from Spain gave me an habit to drink light but more often with
Wow.
beers.
Ah,
So like when I stayed in Spain, I think I drank a a can or two of beer almost every day. So it became my habit.
But okay, but maybe that's not super common. I mean, again, it depends on who you ask, right? I mean, in my case, I don't usually drink anything during the week.
Mhm.
Like maybe just during the weekend, right? And during the week, it's just nothing. It's just water or whatever.
mm,
And some people do that as well. Or of course, you would find younger people or whatever that they drink every day, but that's
yes,
not
yes.
super common, I think.
Mm.
Actually, what I preferred in Spain was like caña con limon.
Yeah.
Aha, that makes
Yeah,
okay. Yes,
that one doesn't exist in Korea, right?
I don't know. It's
It at
just
that
it's
time no, at the time no.
beer with lemonade, right?
Beer with lemonade, but it's like kind of what can I say? Lemonade soda, right?
Yes, exactly. No,
Yes.
not like juice of a lemon, but lemonade
Caña
soda.
con limon. Caña con limon or caña. Like I tried it in my home and it was disaster. Like I never tried it after.
Right. So the mixture, the ratio, the proportions have to be correct, right? Too much beer, too much lemonade. It's and some. I mean, I think there are like if you go to a bar, maybe they do it manually. They just open a soda and they mix it themselves, or
Yeah,
they
exactly.
even have like already like kegs with the mix prepared from Stella or whatever. Yeah,
Yes.
for summer is good. For summer is good.
I remember that once I read an article that beer consumption, especially the lager beer consumption in Spain, is like number two or number three in the world.
I'm telling you,
Oh,
Yeah,
man, we drink a lot of beer.
wow.
yeah,
Oh,
exactly,
strong.
exactly.
Oh, okay. Unlike Spain, I mean, we have a beer, but we have more typical kind of drink, right? Jisan, could you explain a little our typical drink?
Ah, yeah. For Korean people, the most typical and most symbolic drink is called soju, which is like a distillation with rice beer. Yeah, which is like an alcohol distilled with rice.
Is
It
it
has
rice?
like
Because I thought it was sweet potato.
that's like a that's like the variation, I guess. That's like a
Okay.
variation thing. But mainly it's made of rice, and it's like very transparent and smells like pure alcohol, which is like
Pure
vodka.
alcohol.
But
Yeah, for
yeah,
pure
but
alcohol.
compared to vodka, it's quite softer. So it's about 17 degrees alcohol.
So why soju and not beer? Is it the price or?
Yeah, as far as I know, it has quite long history among Korean people to be like very symbolic drink because on top of everything, as you just asked, I think the main reason is its price because it's about only 2 to 3 euros for a bottle in the restaurants, not even in the mart, because in the
Hmm.
supermarkets it's super cheap. It's only about 1 to 2 euros per bottle.
That's what blew my mind. I don't know where I was in Korea, but I was in a
Mhm.
supermarket and soju was cheaper than water. There was like an offer or something, and I saw the prices, and the soju was cheaper than water, and I was like, "What the heck, man?"
Maybe for the special offer, yeah, that can
Maybe,
be
yeah,
good.
maybe it was a special offer, but I was blown away. It was like, "What? That cannot be right. That's impossible." But why is it beer expensive? Why is it beer so expensive if it's made in Korea?
I think uh, when it comes to those very typical and common beers, the price is quite similar to those of Spain. But the thing is, considering the alcohol percentage, soju is obviously cheaper because it doesn't require lots of ingredients inside, I guess.
Ah, it's easier to make. Yeah.
Easy to make. Yeah, actually, it was historically it was really one of the most expensive drink because it's what can I say? This is distillated, right? I mean, if the we boil or we do something for the rice, then we have makgeolli, and then for the pure alcohol is soju. So it was expensive, and by the manufacturing and factory we made it cheaper and cheaper. Now it's kind of a common drink, but before it was really expensive, and we make many history for because of this soju thing. So maybe all of the listener who wants to come to Korea should know this bottle soju.
So if I go to Korea, how like in what context am I gonna drink soju? Is it in I meet with somebody for an afternoon? Do I drink soju, or is it just for having lunch or dinner?
Probably with Minki, that would be normal with Minki.
With Minki, will be normal to anytime, anywhere. Okay,
Okay.
and for Jisang,
But I don't think during the daytime consuming soju is not common.
Not common. You
Yeah,
can, but not common.
okay, so only for night, like dinner.
Not
that's
only.
more natural for me, I guess.
We should know that in during the lunch, somebody will ask you that how much can you drink.
Okay, what does that mean? How much can you drink?
Actually, the drinking is one of the most important theme in Korea. So everybody knows their capacity of drink.
Okay, so like how many cups can you drink? How many?
How many cups of soju can you drink? This is like typical question, even though we have a blind date.
Wow. So hi, how are you? My name is Minky. I can drink 7 cups.
During the blind date, somebody can ask you how much can you drink during the dinner.
Okay, how much can you drink?
So it's like very natural and common question among Korean, just like Korean age thing.
Give me the number. How high is the number? Minky,
Hmm.
what's your
Kind of,
number?
yeah, like one bottle. I actually I replied in this event like I replied, I can drink one bottle. Oh, then you can drink two bottle, and they give me drink.
So you say I can drink one, and they give you two. Math
Be-
works. Okay.
because 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 many people lie. Oh, you don't want to drink, and I'll give you twice.
Right. So I mean, they ask you what's your limit, and then you specifically lie to give a lower number, so they can keep giving you drinks, but you haven't reached your true limit.
Oh yeah, that's kind of that's common too.
Okay. Okay. Is it something that you brag about? Like, if you say, "Oh yeah, I can drink 3 bottles," is something that men like they brag about, or is it no? It's. I mean, because I don't understand why do you need to first lie about it, right? Why do you need to lie about it?
Let me explain you the interesting thing. I mean, supposing that we are all university students, in that case, there might be more people bragging about their capacity. But on the other hand, supposing that we are all like colleagues from the company,
Hmm.
then the situation is totally opposite, and people tend to like lower their capacity because they want to avoid like unwilling drinking after the work. So probably that's the reason why it makes the difference between them.
Exactly. We should drink. Maybe all of the people Koreans we start to drink around university student, right? And then we have many opportunities, orientation. We go to the membership training. We have we make event for drink. I mean, before of course before Corona, then many people try to say, "Oh, I can drink more. I can drink more for being with friends." But when you go to the company and in the company, age and level systems function, and then I should make lower for drink less than I can,
Hmm.
because if you don't do that, so somebody can, not everybody, but somebody can push you to drink.
Right. So here, I mean, there's, I mean, sure, if you live in Spain, you've always, or not always, but at some point, you've encountered this peer pressure of saying, "Yeah, please have a drink. Oh, please, why are you done drinking?" But I don't think like an obligation to drink, right? So if you're going out with friends or colleagues, if you don't want to drink more, you don't drink. So surely you will have always the friend that says, "Yeah, one more, let's do one more shot." But it's always on a friendly matter, and you don't feel obligated to actually drink. So I think that's different, right, from what you were explaining here. You go with colleagues and you feel pressure to drink.
I think I was about to explain this thing as well, that there had been a huge pressure for drinking, even for the people who aren't willing to. I think it's quite stronger than the pressure that you're explaining, Ricard, because it's also about the company thing. I mean, what happens in the dinner with their colleagues, not among the friends, I guess. There's a huge pressure that's very hard to, how to say, deny or avoid, even though that kind of tendency is getting uh, weaker and weaker. Still there is a like that kind of sad culture, I guess.
But why is it hard to deny? Because then your colleagues will see you as a, I don't know, weak person, or they will not see you as a good colleague, or not friendly, or what's the problem there?
I think it's more about those hierarchy thing, I guess. That's what I think. Probably Minky will mention another thing.
People will think that you're not a teammate. You don't have a, what can I say, membership. Like, oh, because we're not drinking. Oh, you're on team, so you should drink, and we should make any history between us. We should talk more while we're eating. We call it 회식, which can be translated as eating together, but we never just eat. We should drink, and while we are drinking, somebody will say something, not only about the working, but their own thing. And for our concept, that's so important, drinking together.
Yeah, I get it. So I think we've talked about something that you haven't yet explained, like that you finish work at whatever at 6 7, and then you are somewhat forced to go to eat and drink with colleagues. This is not common here. I mean, sure, if you finish work and you say to somebody, "Hey, would you like to grab a drink after work?" Some people might say yes, people might say no, but there's absolutely no pressure whatsoever into going to drink with colleagues, and I think that's different there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, if actually my episode about this new year, it was not necessary. I tried it actually, and I felt it. I wanted to say, but sometimes yes.
If it were like 2002, which is like 2 decades ago, probably most of the companies in Korea might have the similar culture. I mean, the pressure for joining the team dinner or team drinking, which was very important at the time. But nowadays, it's changing quite quickly because nowadays the newer generation is very like individual, which is quite opposite to the traditional Korean thing. So in my case, I barely have that kind of team drinking. I mean, only like once or twice a year.
Oh,
That's good.
But in other companies with more conservative culture, they might be different, I guess. So I cannot like define the Korean thing nowadays.
actually, if in my case, even in the university, it was kind of pressure to drink. Actually, in my case, uh, when I was in the university, the pressure was the highest one. Not even even better, even more pressure than company.
Even in the situations that you didn't want to drink.
Oh, actually, yes, I was the captain of the not department major. I mean, in the class, and the reason that I was the captain, I literally needed to drink until I what can I say?
Pass out. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah,
Mm.
until I black out.
Wow.
And next day again, oh, you should drink more. Next day, the following day.
The next day.
Yeah, the next day because we have someone says that we have a 해장술 can be translated as like if you drink more, then you will wake up.
I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I couldn't go drinking like during the week and then expect to function the next morning. But you guys seem to do that. Like you go drinking on a Tuesday and magically on a Wednesday morning, 8 a.m., you're sharp dressed with your suit at the office. How do you do that?
We, like I'm
No, no, no.
always
I
in the
with
desk
so
without
the
any
question
thinking.
I want you to explain. No, 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 no. I know. There's help. I know there are magic substances that you can drink in Korea that help you with that. I went to the supermarkets and I saw this sort of stomach ache medicines, weird stuff that you can drink. And I
Yes,
remember,
yes.
like I was so we were in this world championships for Haeonggamdo and martial art, and of course, there was the last night we drank a little bit, and the next morning, my master, Korean master, he said, "Drink this." He just bought it in the convenience store, and that was a magic juice made of I don't know what. That somehow my insides were correctly put in place, and I was alive again. So tell me more about these medicines.
Also, did you also feel all right after drinking that?
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I think we tried it 2 or 3 times, different flavors. I cannot explain the flavors. Some were more lemony. I don't know. Very strange, like medicine, but I don't know. I mean, how does it work? Does it work? What is this magic? Tell me more.
I think you picked a very interesting thing. I think nowadays there are like more than dozens of brands where they make those, I mean, hangover relieving drinks or hangover relieving
Ah,
snacks.
right.
Those are not medicines, but they're sort of medicines. That's what we think. But they're like, as far as I know, they're usually made of some specific woods, wood skins, I guess.
What? Wood skins? What's that?
Uh, Literally, yeah, the skin of the wood
Oh, really?
of
Okay.
a specific sort of tree. I don't know
Tree.
the name
Ah,
in
yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
English, but yeah, mostly.
wow. I was expecting some ginseng or something more
Yeah, something
traditional.
like that. They're known to have specific effects of relieving the hangover, like pain in their heads or something like that, headache. Yeah.
But that shows a lot, right? I mean, that you as a country have developed this sort of medicines to help with the drinking. It's interesting.
I tried everything and nothing functions.
Nothing
I
works.
tried, actually, I tried everything. I tried like at least actually five medicine or food or something, and never functioned. So,
Oh, okay. So it's all fake news.
so,
Okay.
so sadly, I had a hangover every time when I tried. And again, I go to drink. And there is no solution. Just drink and without imagination, drink and hang out, drink, hang out. The kind of what can I say? The roulette that never ends. Actually, what I wanted to say was not only bad thing. but we have kind of course, the drink makes history. So while we are drinking, we have many romantic moments.
But you can have memories and moments without drinking. I mean, you could drink water or soda.
Okay, so we shouldn't cross the line, right? We shouldn't cross the line. We should know our capacity again. We should know our capacity, and right before that capacity, we need to control it. If we stop, and we can make a romantic moment. For example, 포장마차. Do you know 포장마차, Ricard?
No, what does it mean?
포장마차 is kind of snack cart. Now it's quite disappearing, but still, in that snack cart, we can eat food and we can drink, but it's not like restaurant building. It's only
Ah,
in the
you're
car.
on the street. On the street.
Simply, they set up the chairs and desks, and there are some food trucks.
Ah, yes, yes. I've seen it, of
Do,
course. Yeah.
did you often go to 포장마차 too?
I like it. I like it personally, but I haven't seen them quite often because nowadays the number of pojangmatcha is getting decreasing.
But that's a cool thing. I mean, food on the street, it's nice. Before COVID, that's good.
Normally they don't pay tax, so
Ooh, all right.
that's one of the reasons. But still, in the drama, in these days, K drama, maybe you will see lots of scene in 포장마차 because this is kind of our, what can I say, drink spiritual thing. If we had a hard time, a difficult time, or if we want to forget something, then conceptually we go to 포장마차 and drink one or two cup of soju and go back to home. This was like typical thing.
Okay, so I wanted to first share a little bit on wine culture in Spain. Then you tell me
Oh,
how is it there. So of course, wine is super important here, right? Different regions of Spain produce wine, and it's present everywhere, right? But wine it's only like drank on lunch or dinner.
how
It's not something
often?
you
How
go ahead.
often do you drink wine?
Well, again, I cannot answer for everybody, sure. I mean, I can tell you what I've seen. So, I mean, you can drink wine for lunch, right? During the week, it's a little bit maybe not super common unless I don't know, people do that. But it's a strong drink, so drinking it as you continue working, and it's not super appropriate. Dinner, sure. Weekends, that's fine. As you know, they're super like so many different types of wine in terms of like price range, right? You can go from €3 a bottle to 6 to 10. It depends on your nose and your taste, whatever you can appreciate, right? Usually on my side, I cannot appreciate more than 6, 7, €8 a bottle. More than that, I just don't know the difference. And then some people like you might go to a nightclub or night bar and you might have a beer. Some people like to order a cup of wine. That's also
In the club?
possible. Ah, okay, club maybe it's a bad example. Not club for dancing, but I'm trying to like pub or
Ah,
night
okay,
bar
okay.
or yeah. Some people like maybe order a cocktail, mojito, whatever. Some people order a beer, and some people order a cup of wine.
Oh,
So how is it there? The wine thing. Is it normal to drink wine? Is it special occasions? I'm guessing it's expensive because it's imported, right?
I mean, I think I'm mentioning that Korea is changing quickly and quickly, especially in the last very few years. And wine is the same thing, I guess. That the popularity of wine and the price range of wine, I mean, the cheaper wine is getting common and common very quickly, I guess. Because like in 2014, when I was in Spain for my exchange student, at the time in Korea, it was very hard to find a cheap wine in like €2 or €3 because at that time wine is considered to be very like elegant thing.
Yeah, but €2, €3, it's not a very good wine. I think it's
But now it's very easy to find those cheap wines here as well. So it's getting very quickly famous and common among the young people, I guess.
actually, because nowadays many young people want to drink wine, and when I meet my friends, they ask me about the Spanish wine. And I don't know. I mean, could you explain or could you recommend us the popular wine type or your preference
Well,
too?
yeah, no, it's impossible. I mean, the problem is that there's just too many wineries in Spain. I mean, there's dozens and hundreds of good wines.
But at least like more than half of Korean young people are aware of Rioja wine.
Rioja,
Rioja,
yes.
Rioja.
Rioja.
That's not the best. Sorry.
Oh, really?
Okay, Catalan, okay.
But I guess, I mean, again, that's from a region of Spain, right? And usually they're strong. They're like tintos, red wines. If you like those sort of wines, right? I mean, there are great wines, there are white wines. I mean, I, the thing is that you have to taste as many as you can to know what you like. It's not. I think you cannot fall on the marketing side or whatever sells best outside of Spain and go for that. But try to try as many as you can and then say, okay, I like more strong and dry flavors, or I like more sweety wines. I'm a little bit weak, and I like sweety wines a little bit, more like fruit and flowers, things like that. So white, they go very well in summer. They're fresh. I don't really like room temperature red wines. I prefer cold white. Yeah, that's my preference.
We,
But
we
again,
shouldn't forget we shouldn't forget sangria.
oh, yes, if it's well done, I like it. And if it's well done, yeah, it's. I mean, they sell pre-made sangria. Don't do that. Don't buy that. That's horrible. But if you do that at home with fresh fruit, yeah, go for it.
Pre-made sangria? What's that? Pre-made?
Yeah, like
The
bottled.
sangrias from the market, you mean?
Yeah, from the supermarket. You can buy it already made.
In the paper packing
Paper packaging
or
like
bottle?
soda like soda or something.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a box of milk, but with sangria, right?
box of milk.
No, I mean what I'm explaining, like the box, right? It's like a box of milk, but with sangria, and it's already made, but it's not good. I mean it's not super hard to do it. It's just you buy a wine and you buy fruits and you mix it. It's done, right?
We,
So I
what
would recommend.
what fruits can we add to sangria? Many of
Oh
my friends ask, and I couldn't answer correctly. So,
wow! I mean I don't know. I
everything.
guess no, probably not. I think top of my head, orange, apple. I think. Um, I don't know. I'm sure there are different recipes, but I think orange is pretty common. And I think apple as well. What else?
Great.
I don't know. I don't know. It's been ages since I done this, so I don't. It's not my poison of choice. I would prefer just maybe white wine. But yeah, so come to Spain and we can do wine tasting. We can sample. Go somewhere outside of Barcelona. Go to a winery and do some wine tasting, and
Okay, I love it.
you can learn
And
different types of wines.
for me, it's really hard to distinguish.
Yeah, it's not easy for me as well. I mean, yeah, I think you need a lot of training or tasting, and also it helps when and somebody that knows about it they tell you about. Okay, have this and think about I don't know more wood or think about more fruit or think about. I mean, maybe you relate, but as long as you like it, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if you like it, go for it. Cheap, expensive. Some people like I think that there's a lot of like snob people who think they know stuff and then they put cheap wine and a very expensive wine side by side that they cannot tell the difference. For me, it's like if you like it, go for it, right? That's
Well, one last question for the sangria. Does it is it any is it does do you have any difference between tinto and sangria? One of my
yeah,
friends
of
asked
course.
tinto. Oh yeah, what is
Yeah,
the difference?
tinto's not sangria. So you have the red wine, which you can drink alone, goes well with meat, right? When you're eating meat, when you're eating your bulgogi, that goes great. Red meat and red wine goes well, but then you use probably cheaper red wine to do the sangria. You don't
Ah,
spend I don't know
okay.
15 euros on a red wine bottle and then you put it fruit on it because you are actually like damaging the wine, right? I think that the mix works well when you have a cheap
Mm-hmm.
wine and you want to
Oh.
enhance it, you want to make it better. Then
Mm-hmm.
you do this mix. Not when you have a good wine and you want to lower the
Mm.
quality.
Okay, okay. Now I got
What about Tinto de Verano?
That's
Why?
that's Tinto de Verano. What is it? Is it red wine with a soda, right?
So I
Yes.
mean, what's the difference between Tinto de Verano and Sangria?
Right. So I think sangria is not diluted with soda. It's just wine and fruit, and Tinto de
Mm.
Verano is actually soda. So I mean,
Mm.
works nicely in summer because I mean you have the soda which is not alcoholic; it's just soda as you know it, and then you throw a little bit on Tinto, and then you get a little bit of the flavor of
Mm.
the wine, but you don't get so cooked with with the wine. If you are on a 30-degree shadow on the bar and you drink a cup of wine, maybe whoa, you go to sleep directly. But if you're having a light lunch and you have a little bit of mixed soda and wine, it's refreshing. You get the flavor a little bit of the wine. But again, you would not use an expensive wine to do this mix because again, you are damaging the wine. You usually do it with they call it vino de la casa, right? So it's like local or homemade wine or very local wine, not famous brand, but and then you mix it. Usually you mix it when it's not good, right? If the wine you drink it alone, it's this is not good. Then you mix it. There's another mix with wine. I don't know if you ever had this. It's called calimocho.
Calimocho.
Do you know
I
this
like
name?
it.
Calimocho.
I don't know.
Oh, he knows the
I
the
like
university
it.
student knows. In
The muy
Pamplona,
barato,
Pamplona, you
muy
like
the
that?
cheapest one. I heard.
That's disgusting. So for those who don't know, it's just mixing wine and Coca-Cola,
Mm.
and it's I don't know. People like it. Minky seems to be very happy with it. I don't like it. It's
I'm
disgusting.
I'm now I'm making in my home, and when some guests come to my home, I always bake it. For
You
this
give
is kind of
them
Spanish. This
Spanish
is one of the
experience.
Spanish. Yes, calimocho, Coca Cola, and vino tinto. Like and they
Fantastic.
this is like they when they drink it. Oh, this is kind of fantasy. But one of one of my friend he likes really good wine, and he says it's disgusting. So I'm sorry. This is Spanish.
Good, good. Yeah. But thank you for spreading the Spanish culture through
Yes,
Korea.
the most cheapest one. So.
Yes, cheap wine and Coca-Cola.
And could you, Jisang, do you know what sidra is? Do you have any experience?
I only saw them on documentaries, and I
Oh,
haven't tried it.
dudes, I mean,
Oh,
you have to come to Spain, and we do a Spain tour. We get a car or
yes.
whatever, and we
Why not?
ride to
Why not?
Spain. Let's
Actually,
do that.
Ricard, please explain to listener what sidra is. I'm sure that nobody knows sidra.
In
Not many
Korea,
people.
it's very barely known.
Yes, so like I mean, you think about vodka and it's potato or soju is rice, then sidra is apple, right? So
Hmm.
they make distillation out of apple. It's very typical from northern Spain, right?
Okay.
Asturias and Navarra and things like that, and it's very good. Um,
You drink? How do you pour? It's
yes,
like
yes, yes. Yeah, okay. So the sidra needs to how do you say it in English? You have to break it. They call it in
hmm?
Spanish. You have to break it because it has to break. The sidra doesn't have bubbles. So to make the
Okay.
bubbles, you pour it from a higher distance. Like you put your bottle above your head, and then the glass
Ah.
and glass low, and then as it falls and it hits the glass, your cup, it quote unquote breaks. So it
Ah.
makes bubbles. So that's why
Ah.
sidra you don't have a big glass of sidra. You have a small dosages because you have
Oh
to
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
do the bubbles yourself, like breaking it,
Mhm.
and then you drink small dosage, and then you wait. When you want to drink
Ah.
again, you have to break it again, right?
You drink only small dose, like
Yes, because
not.
because you want the bubbles. If you have a
Ah.
big full cup, there's no bubbles in there. It's just still sidra. You don't drink
Mm.
that. So don't do that. If you go to the north, they will look at you funny. So
Yeah, I did
also,
that.
you did that? Oh
Yeah, I
no!
did that. So like so many people looks at me. What
Oh
is he doing?
shit!
Like,
What is this guy doing?
yeah,
Uh,
and I don't want. I
also,
didn't want to waste my money. Like I wanted to drink everything. You know.
yeah, but the thing is that in the north it's not super expensive. It's cheap, right?
Hmm.
Sidra is cheap, and it's expected for you to do that. It's expected for you to lose a little bit of sidra when you do that because then a little bit spills over the glass, so that's fine. It's also frowned upon if you spill too much sidra, right? I mean, if you don't have the technique, ask for it. Either in the restaurant, I mean, in the restaurant you can ask the waiter, and the waiter will break it for you. They will go to your table and
Ah, okay.
they will do the procedure. When you go drink, you want to drink again, you ask them again, please, can you pour me some more? And they pour it for you. If you don't know how to do that, it's an experience to do it yourself. I think when you go to a typical restaurant in the north, they have these big wooden barrels of sidra, and you open the nozzle of the barrel, right, of the wooden thing, and it pours out at so much pressure that you have to put your glass far away, and then shoo, the liquid, the sidra, goes flying to your glass. It's good. That's what I'm saying. That we need to go to the north and experience it. Three of us, that will be
Okay.
amazing.
Oh.
Interesting, because I thought that was like kind of showmanship, but what you're
No,
saying is totally not.
no, it's not. I mean, sure, people, if you go, I don't know, behind the head or whatever, sure, they're showmans, but you have to do that. I mean, you have to do that because it's how you drink the sidra. Otherwise, it's still sidra. It's not good at all.
Let's go to the personal memory. In your memory, first, I will say like in your one of one of the most experience with beautiful memory. I mean, not only beautiful, but impressive memory in your lifetime. Me first. I couldn't forget my first drinking with my father. Like in Korea, there is an old saying that you should learn how to drink with your parents.
Really? Okay.
Yes, because if you want to, yeah, you will have many times to drink when you go to the university or when you go to the company. So we should have good manners to drink.
Huh.
So my father, right after when I got 20 years old, my father taught me how to drink.
Wow.
Like you should drink. We have kind of manner, and we can say this one to the episode too maybe. But we should. I learned many things from my father. What should I say? What shouldn't I say? And what shouldn't I do?
Wow, very well educated.
And at that time, my father told me how he met my mother, and how they get married. Yeah, blah 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 blah. How I was born in, and like oh my, and it was like 12 years before, and nowadays he kept trying to say that, and now father enough, but still, when I listened it for the first time, I couldn't remember. I couldn't forget this.
When I drank for the first time, sadly it wasn't with my father, and plus my father didn't taught me how to drink. My first drinking experience was during my volunteer work in the Philippines.
Whoa! When was it? How old were you?
I was like 17 or 18 at the time, and I think this might be differ. I mean, this very um, according to the countries that you're in, but in the Philippines, I think just like in Europe, they barely check their ID card to identify their age. So
Okay.
it was very easy to like buy a cup of beer or something like that. So there was a friend who is like a year older than me, and he persuaded me to have a cup of beer with him, even though we were all students, we were all high school students, but because it wasn't the experience possible in Korea, we all bought like 3 to 4 bottles of beer for the first time, and we got quickly drunk. We got quickly drunk because it was the first time.
So
Yeah,
just a small information. At what age can you buy alcohol in Korea? 21.
international age 18 or 19.
Yes, international age 18 or 19.
Okay, fine.
Yeah,
Then it's fine. So same here. Same here. So I'm very surprised by your story, Minky, and let's talk about it later in another episode. From my side, not super great memories, but I remember especially one time, or maybe the first time, I don't know, where we had a friend who was 18, right? And so he could legally purchase alcohol. So we went to a
Okay.
supermarket, and we were, I think, 1 year or 2 years old, younger than him, right? So the dude bought the alcohol, and we tried it, and it was horrible. But yeah, I mean, it was just an experience, right? So the first time, I mean, what do you expect?
All right, we talked so many things, but still we have so many things to talk more. So maybe later in the future, in the near future, we'll talk about this drinking culture because it's fun, right?
Episode 2.
Always,
Episode 2, definitely. That's more to
always
talk.
fun. So that's all for it today, and thanks for sharing your experience.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
thank you very much and happy New Year again.
Bye bye.